Okay, hey guys. So first of all, I apologize about the room, kind of remodeling things here. So as you can see, there's a piece of the roof sitting on the ceiling, I should say, sitting against the wall. But anyways, today I'm going to be teaching you how you can obtain what I call them is 18650 batteries. They're also called 3.7 volt lithium ion batteries. They have exploded in the last couple of years because they are what primarily powers your e-cigarettes, especially the mods. They might have a few of these wired in series or in parallel. So they've exploded in recent years. Before that, they were mainly used in high-powered flashlights, which is where I first ran into them, as well as RC cars and a couple other things. So they're big fat batteries like this. They kind of look like a double A, but they're fatter and they're longer. And this is a cheap Chinese one called Ultrafire, not knocking the company or anything like that. That's just a battery brand. It says 3,000 milliamps an hour. One of the things that I found about, you can purchase these relatively inexpensive on eBay. They're about $1 or $2, but just like anything else, you get what you pay for. What I've found with some of the cheap Chinese batteries is that they might say, they're 3,000 milliamps an hour or even 6,000, but when you actually test them, some of them are 300, 500, maximum of 1,500, but nowhere close to what they advertise. So you really get what you pay for. You can buy name brand versions for about $5 or $6 each from Panasonic and whatnot, and they're really good batteries. The problem is that they're expensive. So I'm going to teach you how you can obtain these batteries in something that you might have laying around already. If not, maybe you know somebody that has it laying around. It's essentially an old laptop battery. Many people have old laptops. This one's from an old Dell, early 2000s, and this is just laying around. So you might have somebody with an old laptop that maybe doesn't work anymore, or just an outdated laptop that they don't use anymore, and they'd be willing to give you the batteries. I've had no trouble getting these kind of battery packs. Anyone that I ask for is just like, yeah, whatever, take the battery pack. One thing to advise though is once you break this open, there's no going back. There was a video from some guy, he claimed to be able to put them back together, but it required quite a bit of work, and to be honest, for an outdated laptop, I'm not sure most people want to put in the work. This Dell battery does look a little different because the microcontroller also displays the charging status over here. Not every battery is going to look like that. Most batteries probably won't have the rest of this half. They'll just be like this over. So essentially what you want to do, before we get into that, I'm just going to say one thing. If you have the 18650 batteries, you're going to need something to charge them with. Buying a good charger is also paramount because on some of the outdated batteries, the cells might be bad. So if you have a good enough charger, some of the chargers will attempt to fix the battery. Now I say attempt because not all batteries can be fixed, obviously. So the one that I use and I like, and you can go out and get your own, I'm not recommended anything or anything like that, but I use the Nightcore Digi Charger i2. It's a really nice charger. It accepts more than 18650. There's a whole list of batteries, including just your rechargeable AAAs and AA's and stuff, and it's really nice. It's got a digital screen. It'll tell you the charging status, and when you power it up, it'll go through like a quick check of the battery, and if there's anything that it needs to repair, it'll attempt to repair it. So I like this. They're relatively inexpensive, very good charger. Be careful that you don't get the knockoff brands. The box comes with a validation code, so you want to enter that. So that's that. Now going back to this. So what you're going to do is you're just going to break it open. If you look, there's a seam here. That's usually the easiest to get at it. And just simple hand tools. I'm using a screwdriver, a hammer, and some pliers. And let's see what we can do here. Yeah, so this is going to take a couple minutes, but essentially we're just going to go at the seam here and just try and bust it open. If you want to go crazy, hit it with a hammer. Now it's important to also make sure that the battery is discharged. You don't want a fully charged thing. As the disclaimer stated in the beginning, this is only for educational purposes. If you do this on your own, you obviously accept the risk and consequences associated with this. But I'm going to go ahead and disassemble this, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright, I wanted to show you guys what it'll start to look at and what you want to be careful of. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a tiny little red color there that you can see. You want to be careful of that because that's the battery. It only took me one whack of the hammer to drive the screwdriver in enough to be able to pry it out. So now all you want to do now is mainly pry. Try not to hit the batteries. Just pry it out from the sides there. And once you get one side open, you can just use your hand. And there they are. This is what you're looking for. You got 9 of them here. I'm just going to take them out. They might be a little stuck in there. A lot of times they're glued in place. There's also, I actually believe, I want to say that they might be welded together in certain spots. Yeah, they are actually. Nickel welding or something. And then there's the microcontrollers and whatnot. So all of that kind of sticks together and makes it hard to get apart. Now, like I said, when you do this, you don't have to be super careful because, as I said before, you are destroying the battery. Don't plan on putting this back together. Not a good idea. But now you have the 9 cells, you see, and you have 3 wired in series, and then they have them all wired in parallel. So what you're going to do here is you're just going to take off the nickel parts that are welded onto the top here. Just going to break them apart one by one, and then you will have 9 individual 18650s. I'll just come back in a sec after I get them all broken apart. So we're back. As you see, I have detached all the 18650s. They are now loose and ready to be charged. One thing I forgot to mention was when you're pulling off, I believe it's nickel. I'm not 100% sure as to what type of metal that is that holds it all together, that has the plates on the top. But when you're removing it, I just used a pair of pliers to rip it right off. It'll leave like sharp indentations here, and that's actually the cause. If you look real closely, I cut my finger there. It's very sharp, so you want to be careful when you're doing it. What I do when I'm done and I have the battery all done, all free, I should say, I like to go back with the pliers and just push any sharp edges down like this. If you want to run some sandpaper over it, go for it, I guess. Just be careful. These are batteries after all. I find the pliers method works very well. Just push all the sharp ends down. And there you go. We got 9 of them here. If we had ordered, and usually these are very good quality batteries. I know one of the other laptops that I opened had Panasonic batteries in it. So usually these are good quality. It's not the cheap Chinese stuff. So we have 9 of them here. So 9 of them at $5 each. We just saved ourselves $45 there. And you can go ahead and put these in your flashlight or in your vapor jig with e-cigarette and enjoy them. Have a good day. Thanks.